So we've seen how me can mean me, to me, or myself. And te can mean you, to you, or yourself. And nos can mean us, to us, or ourselves. So we want to resist the temptation to translate this to. So for example, he speaks to me. We don't need this to, because me, can mean me, to me, or myself. So we want to resist the temptation to translate that to. So how do you say he speaks to me or he's speaking to me?
Habla me.
And don't let
me habla.
Yeah, don't let that to confuse you about the position it should go. It's still going before. Me habla. They speak to me?
Me hablan.
Good. If you want to say they speak to me about it, you can just say they speak me it in Spanish.
Me lo hablan.
Me lo hablan. Very good. They're speaking to me about it. So this to and this about, we notice Spanish tends not to need these words as much as English does. For example, to buy was comprar. Comprar.
Comprar.
Good. So this me, other than to me, can be for me, from me. We don't really need these words. So for example, if we want to say he buys it for me, we can just say he buys me it. So comprar is to buy. He buys it for me. He buys me it.
Me lo compra.
Good. Me lo compra. So here we see me is like for me here. But it's just me. We're just using me. I buy it for you, speaking informally. I buy it for you.
Te lo compro.
Good. Te lo compro. Now, if you want to say shall I buy it for you, shall in English, all it's doing really is just making it a question. Shall I buy it for you? So in Spanish, just make it sound like a question.
Te lo compro.
Yeah. Te lo compro. Shall I buy it for you? Now, this could actually even mean from you. Shall I buy it from you? So by the context, we'll understand the difference. Maybe you will hear, if you travel to a Spanish-speaking country, people saying, buy me, selling things in the street. Buy me something is what you will hear. And they're probably not asking you to buy them something, but to buy something from them. And it's understood, and we don't really need to use these words like from or for most of the time. To do was hacer. Hacer. How would you say, do you want to do? Speaking informally.
Hacer is an irregular verb.
Doesn't matter, does it? Do you want to do?
¿Quieres hacer?
Good. Do you want to do it?
¿Quieres hacerlo?
Good. ¿Quieres hacerlo? Now, how do you think you would say, do you want to do it for me?
¿Me lo quieres hacer?
Yes. ¿Me lo quieres hacer? So we're not using the word for. We don't need it in Spanish. It's understood. Do you want to do it for me? ¿Me lo quieres hacer? ¿Quieres hacérmelo? Good. The kitchen in Spanish is la cocina. La cocina. Or in most of Spain, la cocina. Cocina. La cocina.
La cocina.
And to cook is cocinar. You just make a verb from cocina. Cocinar. Actually, this is where we get concoction from in English with cooking. So how would you say I cook from cocinar?
Cocino.
Good. How do you say he cooks, or she cooks, or it cooks, or usted, you formal cook?
Cocina.
Good. You, informal?
Cocinas.
Good. And with emphasis or clarification, if you want to use the word for you,
Usted.
but this is informal. Cocinas.
Sorry. Tú cocinas.
Tú cocinas. Good. They cook, or you guys?
Cocinan.
Good. What if we wanted to use the word for they, to emphasize or to clarify?
Ellos cocinan.
Ellos cocinan. Good. Or ellas, if it's a female group. What if we wanted to say you guys are cooking, with the emphasis or the clarification?
Ustedes cocinan.
Good. Ustedes cocinan. And we cook, what is we cook?
Cocinamos.
Good. And with the emphasis or the clarification?
Nosotros cocinamos.
Good. Nosotros cocinamos. Good. How would you say I can? How is I can related to power?
Puedo.
Puedo. Good. And he can?
Puede.
Good. Puede. And you can in formal?
Puedes.
Good. Can you cook?
Puedes cocinar.
Good. Can you cook something for me? So what was the word for something?
Algo.
Good. How do you think you're going to say this in Spanish? Can you cook something for me?
¿Me puedes cocinar algo?
Good. ¿Me puedes cocinar algo? ¿Puedes cocinarme algo? Either way. So how would you say I have cooked? I have cooked.
He cocinado.
He cocinado. Good. So we said that this tense of have cooked, I have cooked instead of I cooked, we can use it more in Spanish than in English. So for example, in English it sounds much more natural to say I cooked at 6 o'clock. But in Spanish it's not a problem to say I have cooked at 6 o'clock. So, at 6 o'clock is a las 6. What do you actually mean when you say a las 6 is a las 6 horas, at the 6 hours. A little bit like in English when you say at 1600 hours. A las 6. So how would you say I have cooked at 6 o'clock? I cooked at 6 o'clock.
He cocinado a las 6.
Good. He cocinado a las 6. I have cooked at 6 o'clock. I cooked at 6 o'clock. Good. The word for 8 in Spanish is ocho. Ocho.
Ocho.
Ocho. We have this similar root in octagon, you know, a shape with 8 sides, or octopus, which has 8 legs, or in October, which, although now it's the 10th month, in the Roman calendar there were only 10 months, and October was month number 8. So, ocho, 8. How would you say we have cooked at 8 o'clock? We have cooked at 8 o'clock.
Hemos cocinado a las 8.
Good. Hemos cocinado a las 8. The word for 9 in Spanish is nueve.
Nueve.
We can see in November, which used to be the 9th month. The O splits into UE. Nueve. And we have the same with 10. 10 is diez, or diez in most of Spain. Diez. What does that sound like? If we go back to our calendar.
December.
December, which used to be the 10th month. And of course, again, an example of splitting. Des to diez. Quedar, in Spanish, quedar means to remain, or to be left over, and it actually has quite a few other meanings as well. It's quite a flexible verb, quedar. But for now, to remain or to be left over. Q-U-E-D-A-R, quedar. And Q-U in Spanish is always a K sound. You must resist any temptation to pronounce quedar if you were to read this. The word que, the word for what that we learned, is spelled Q-U-E. Quiero is spelled Q-U-I-E-R-O. So Q-U, this combination is always a K. Quedar means to remain. So in Spanish, if you want to say I stay, actually you say I remain myself. This is the way you say I stay in Spanish. So we start with remain, which is quedar. So how do you say I remain?
Quedo.
The E doesn't split here, but good for trying.
Quedo.
Quedo. I remain myself.
Me quedo.
Me quedo. This means I stay. Me quedo. Until in Spanish is hasta. Hasta. H-A-S-T-A. You may have heard hasta la vista, until the view. Literally until the seeing, until we see each other. Hasta la vista. So now you can say, I'm staying here until 10 o'clock. So let's divide it up. I'm staying here. I remain myself here.
Me quedo aquí.
until
Hasta
10 o'clock. So,
10. Las 10.
yes, las 10. Yeah, it's literally like las 10 horas, but you don't say horas. Maybe historically people said it, but not anymore. Me quedo aquí or acá hasta las 10. Good. I'm staying until 10 o'clock. So if me quedo, I remain myself, is I'm staying. How do you think you would say we are staying?
Nos quedemos.
Good, but now you have some vowel harmony popping in because we were concentrating on the other bit. So this mistake managed to come back.
Quedamos.
Good, because it's quedar, no? Nos quedamos. We remain ourselves, we stay. So we're staying until 9 o'clock.
Nos quedamos hasta las 9.
Good. Nos quedamos hasta las 9. Very good. Very good. You stay or you remain yourself, speaking informally?
Te quedas.
Good. Te quedas. You're staying here.
Te quedas aquí.
Te quedas aquí. Are you staying here?
Te quedas aquí.
Good. Te quedas aquí. How would you make it emphatic now? Are you staying here? Because this te is not emphatic. It's not optional. We have to put this me in me quedo to get the meaning of stay. And we have to put this te in te quedas to get the meaning of stay. But if we want to make it emphatic, what do we add?
Tú te quedas.
Good. I'm staying. Emphatic.
Yo me quedo.
Good. Yo me quedo. Good. We're staying.
Nos quedamos.
Nos quedamos. Good. We are staying.
Nosotros nos quedamos.
Nosotros nos quedamos. Very good.